The way I used to say it in mind course is that, what would I do? One is, when I deal with the mind, I don't just see the mind. I see who you are, what you are. See? And if you're ignorant of that, I don't have to be. Mm-hmm. And so in the old days, they called that being. See? So I'd see a being there, and then kind of as if superimposed upon the being is this mind stuff, all this personality, character, kind of, gumming up the works. See? And so then dealing with it that way is much more powerful because you can see it in a different light. I remember when Steve Smart, in the old days, in the early 20s, he studied with me. He was one of the people in Boxing with Terror. And Steve Smart, he says, came up to me and said, "Who do you look at? Who are you looking at?" And I said, "You." And he said, he got something, but I'm looking differently than most people look. I'm looking at something different. Eh? I said, "Who are you looking at?" I said, "You." Who should I be looking at? You should be looking at you. Well, that brings us to you and self. When I make a distinction between you and yourself, I'm sure people hear this in all sorts of ways. One way to look in your experience for such a distinction is to imagine that you aren't to be found there, but elsewhere, in some other form. I've addressed this error. Another way to hold it, and perhaps most common, is that yourself is a part of your experience. The ego, the personality, your internal state perhaps, and you are the witness or the experience of your perceptive faculties or mind. This is also not what I'm saying. The you that I'm referring to is actually you. Your true nature. What you really are. This is you. It is you. Try to let that sink in. It's not an experience of you. It is you. You are not elsewhere, and you are also not the experiences you have that you know of as yourself. You are you, not something else that is just unseen. Metaphorically speaking, it might be a little bit like if you were your body, but instead experienced yourself as what you wear, your style, form of dress, and presentation. You might say, "This is who I am," referring about how you look. Some people do. Some people really do. This is who I am, right? I wear bright colors. It's who I am. I wear this sexy stuff. It's who I am. I wear conservative dress. That's who I am. Probably not you, but somebody you know. I wear these silly white shirts. It's not who I am. There's only one place I wear white shirts, okay? No, who I am is something, yeah, okay. The shirt, like me, is just a tool. You might say this is who I am, referring to how you look. And indeed, people will know you largely in relation to the show or presentation. But it isn't really you at all. It is what you chose to wear and how you chose to represent as how you want others to see you. But that doesn't make it you, the body. Remember, in this case, you're the body. In the case of this analogy, we are stuck with two things, the body and the clothes. But in the case of you, there are not two things, except in the distinction we make when we say that you are not yourself. So perhaps we might better say that you are what's real, what's there that you are. And yourself, personality, thoughts, emotional patterns, perceptive faculties, all that is mind, opinions et al., is simply activities you're doing or experiences you're identified with. You are identified with. You are known through these activities. You just aren't them. As another analogy, if you were an alien entity that had no physical form, perhaps the only way you would be known to exist by us is through influencing the physical, such as having an object move, or having words show up on a computer, or creating sensations in someone's body. Through these activities, you become known as existing, but not directly known. And we'd have to make a leap to consider that you exist without that form. Right? Could you hear that metaphor?